Hi guys. Just been this live is doing messing up, but I'm getting there. Hope you're all doing well. I'll be talking about the golden child mentality. That could be hindering your business. Um, that could hinder your kinder marriage and purpose. It's so important to understand about having a good character. Some people are blaming people a lot. You see it a lot. People's ministry, business are failing, and they turn around and blame people. They blame people for um, their marriage not working out, or they're dating someone and they blame the other person, and they give the bare minimum. So it's so important not to turn a blind eye. When someone's being like they're just not doing they're not doing that they're not doing that well, but no one says anything. So you have enablers, you have cheerleaders that are turning a blind eye and don't say anything. So the first one is they get privilege and attention and gifts. When someone gets a lot of attention, gifts, they get a lot of people adore them, and they get so much love. They don't understand that other people can be excluded. People have different lives to them, and when someone's spoiled, some people are spoiled. They have their head in the clouds and they don't really see things. Maybe the way the scapegoat sees things. And they get everything they want, and this is how entitlement comes in. They get very entitled to people's time. They're very entitled, and this is not a good trait because you just assume people should do things for you. You just come to conclusions. You have this entitlement, and you're not grateful. It's not a good trait to have. Being ungrateful and always taking. It's time to show appreciation. It's important to show appreciation and be grateful for when people do things. This entitlement, oh, they're supposed to do it, they're supposed to do that, and they don't have to do that. They don't have to, and entitlement is ruining people's businesses and ruin their chances of getting married because they're so selfish. Marriage is about giving love to each other, and it's not about one person. You can't be selfish. You can't have that golden child mentality. You can't be selfish. You can't be thinking that, oh, it's all about me, and this entitlement. It's so important not to take it lightly. If someone's being selfish, the lack of empathy, just being spoiled and stuff and assuming things. So it's really important not to take it lightly. So because they're so used to attention and gifts and people adoring them, they might not see a dark side of life. When people talk about bullying or mistreatment, it makes them feel uncomfortable because they're thinking life was amazing. They might feel like, oh, this can't be real. This can't be real. They gaslight people. They gaslight people because they live with luxury, and they were spoiled. So when they hear people talk about their stories, they hide their ears and say they don't want to hear it because they're so deluded. They're so deluded, and they're headed in the clouds, and their way is the best way. They don't want to hear anybody. They don't want to hear from anybody else. It's just their way or the highway, and it's ignorance. So entitlement can really hinder your growth. It can hinder people. Um, it can hinder your business. It can hinder your purpose. This entitlement. No one's entitled to you. You should appreciate people. You should appreciate people, and show your appreciation. No one's entitled to your time. But when you have that mentality that, oh, you have to do it, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have this mentality that, oh, not being grateful. You have to be grateful. You have to show appreciation and, give the love back. You can't just be taking, this entitlement. And that's why it's important to appreciate gifts. Don't let it get to your head. When people are giving you attention and gifts, and you're getting people adoring you, don't let it get to your head. Show appreciation. Be grateful. Some people are excluded. Some people are, bullied and mistreated, and they don't get that appreciation and love. They get bullied. They get abused. So when someone's showing you love and appreciating you, you give the love back. This entitlement mentality is reasons why businesses fail. Their business fails and they go, oh, it's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault. My business failed. They weren't committed enough. And it was, and most of the time was their attitude. Most of the time was a lack of attention. It was a lack of skills, and they were so entitled to people's time. They had this high level of entitlement, this selfish ambition. It's in the Bible. Selfish ambition can really ruin your ministry and your business. It could jeopardize so much stuff. Turn around blaming people. This is a pattern. Notice the pattern that's going on. Understand the pattern. The pattern that's going on. Like, look back. Is it really everyone's fault? What is your character like? What is your character like? Are you moody? Are you entitled? Do you have this deluded thoughts about fame and attention? Do you have a fantasy? Are you in touch with reality? There's people that are going through stuff, and they're going through a lot of warfare, and you just want to think about your ministry, and you just think about yourself, and you have this fantasy in your head, but you need to live in reality and realize that some people are human and they go through stuff, and entitlement could really ruin it for you. If you just have some empathy and care about people, it helps you grow more. Some people think, oh, this person's an obstacle, and they're going through stuff, and you see the person as an obstacle, and they have this dream, this fantasy of fame and attention, and it could really hinder, your business in so many ways, your ministry, because ministry is about caring. It's nice to get attention and being adored, and that you're getting attention, but at the same time, you don't. That's why it could turn to greed. It turns to greed. It's never enough. Always wanting more and more and more, and you become greedy, and you think less of people, and you just don't have any empathy. So it's so important to realize that people are human. Have empathy, be kind, be caring, and show gratitude. Say thank you so much. I don't really know you. I don't really just there's certain people that you can say, you know what, I'm so grateful for the things you've done. And show gratitude. This entitlement is getting out of hand. And the next one is they get the best of everything. They get the best. You never, like scapegoats. They're never a favorite. They don't get anything. They get excluded. But golden child. They just get the best treatment. They get so much respect, and they get the first class treatment. And sometimes when people hear bad stories about being mistreated, and and getting abused, they might try to gaslight the person. Oh, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. And it's a horrible mentality to have. Gaslighting people saying, oh, it's not that bad, I had it worse. And you get they can get special treatment. Some people get special treatment, and they hear about narcissistic abuse and mistreatment and think, oh, that's not real. Oh, you're doing too much, you're too sensitive. But because they get so much good treatment and privilege, they just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it at all. They don't want to hear it. Oh, you didn't go through that. Oh, that's nothing. Oh, that's nothing. Oh, forgive and move on. But because they got special treatment, they got they got first class treatment and everyone's nice to them and everyone's making sure that they're okay. When they hear mistreatment, they're like, oh, that can't be real. That's fake. It can't be real. So it's so important to not take it personally when people try to gaslight you, and having that mentality that, oh, it can't be that bad. People have it worse, and they gaslight. That could hinder your ministry, because if you're gaslighting people and they're trying to talk to you about their pain, and you're trying to get people to, you know, into your ministry, and you're gaslighting them, and you go, oh, I had it worse. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to be validated. They want to be, they want to be encouraged. And you saying, oh, I had it worse, and talk about themselves. They start talking about themselves, and they get so, puffed up and full of pride, and they go, oh, yeah, it's about me. And then the person sitting there thinking, why am I? They feel re-traumatized because you try to downplay their trauma. And obviously, some people have it worse. Everyone's um, nervous system is different. People's nervous system is different. I get it, but trying to gaslight somebody's experience, you could end up making things worse. That's why you have to look within and go, why is my ministry not growing? Am I selfish? Do I make it about myself? If someone's trying to go into my ministry, I'm trying to help somebody, and my ministry's not growing, why is it not growing? But it's time to look within. Do I make everything about myself? Do I make it about me? The person trying to, get some healing. They're trying to heal, and they want someone to listen, and then they want to vent, and they want someone to listen, and you sit there and you make it about yourself. That could really hinder your ministry, and it could even hinder your marriage. You want to be married, and the person trying to talk, and you're talking over them, and they can't get a word in. They can't speak. You're speaking over them. Speaking over somebody. They want to speak. They want their voice to be heard, and you're speaking over them. That could really, hinder speaking to you again. So it's so important. It's so important to understand that having a poor character can ruin your ministry or business or your chances to get married, because having this me mentality, having this me mentality and thinking it's all about you, that could really hinder, your chance. So it's important to not be so selfish, have empathy, don't validate people's experiences. Don't go around gaslighting people. Don't gaslight, don't downplay it, don't become so moody and make it about yourself. Really think about other people. Um and the next one is small achievements being celebrated. Maybe you achieve certain stuff and people praise you a lot. People always, they're always congratulating you. Go, oh yeah, you did your thing. Well done, you're well done. Um, don't let it get to your head. There's nothing wrong with it you know, being successful and achieving stuff, but make sure that you don't take it. You don't make it get to your head. You get so arrogant and prideful, and and thinking that you can look down on people that are coming up. Don't let it get to your head. Um, and the next one is misbehavior being dismissed or ignored. If you have a poor, you probably have a bad behavior, like having bad behavior, and sometimes you feel like, oh, okay, no one said anything, so everything's fine. But most of the time, a lot of people are enablers. There are a lot of enablers out there that will just let you have a horrible character and let you be abusive. There's a lot of enablers out there, and they will just let you. They'll just let you be. They'll let you just be horrible. There's a lot of neighbors out there, so you need to take the time to work on your character, because people won't speak up. Maybe you feel like, what, maybe your auntie will turn a blind eye, but when you start your ministry and you have a horrible character and you're wondering why your ministry's not growing. It's because your auntie just enabler. She won't tell you. Most of the time, she won't tell you. She won't say to you, you know what, you're rubbish and you can't do this, you can't do that, and your attitude's poor. But when it comes to, you know, you're wondering why your ministry or business is not working and it's not growing. They don't really speak up. Maybe you got a lot of enablers in your family that don't say anything. Maybe you have a poor character, and you talk to people anyhow, and they don't really say anything. They don't really say to you, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. They don't hold you accountable. They don't hold you accountable. So take the time to reflect and realize, is your character horrible? Because there's a lot of cheerleaders. You could have a horrible mood sometimes. People have a bad day, but if it's a habit and you are quite horrible, but no one says anything, doesn't mean that it's okay. Doesn't mean that, you know what, your auntie might tolerate it, but is your future wife gonna tolerate it? Is your future husband gonna is your future husband gonna take that? Is your future husband gonna take that? Is your clients gonna take that? Not exactly. So it's so important to understand that just because you've gotten away with certain things in the past doesn't mean that you could bring the same mentality back into certain businesses, because they won't tolerate it, or most of them won't. And you wonder why your business is not growing, but it's because of the poor attitude. And the next one is failures are blamed on the scapegoat. It's important not to take blame, not to try to blame somebody. When things don't work out, it's important to self-reflect and take accountability. Picking on the scapegoat is just trying to make yourself feel better. It's never about actually taking accountability of your actions. If you done something horrible, if you just have a nasty attitude and you said the wrong thing sometimes, and you came out of character, own it. Don't say, oh, this person made me do it. I was so angry. What is the anger coming from? Is it coming from ignorance? Is it coming from jealousy? Is it coming from lust? What's the spirit coming from? Why are you angry? You're blaming the scapegoat for your anger and your frustration, but what's it really coming from? Is it from rejection? Is it from your low self-esteem? Where's that actually coming from? Don't be quick to blame people. It's so important to not quickly shift the blame so you can feel better. It's important to take accountability and realize, you know what, you gotta change your character. You gotta change your character and not blame the scapegoat. Blame the scapegoat. Go, oh, it's not my fault. She made me do it. He made me do it. And it's about taking accountability and being bold enough to say you made a mistake instead of blaming people. Taking accountability, owning things is okay. It helps. It helps you improve instead of blaming. When you're blaming the scapegoat, it doesn't really get anywhere. It just helps your ego. And don't bully the scapegoat. The last one would be encourage to bully the scapegoat. Um, Mistreatment, indirect digs, shade, and trying to use intimidation. It's not a good look. It's not right. You really have to stop that. If you're doing stuff like that, you have to stop that, because some people do realize it. They turn a blind eye. They do realize it, and people do walk away. And it might not be suddenly, but slowly people walk away. And it is really important to have self control, because sometimes you feel like you can get away with it. You feel like you can get away with being a bit rude, being a bit shady, and you say, "Oh, it's because of my low self esteem. It was a bad day. I have so much you know, problems I have to deal with," and it's important not to take it so personally. The shade, throwing shade, being throwing indirect digs. you know, it doesn't help anything. You just hurt the person. You're hurting the scapegoat, you're hurting the person, you're hurting the people around, you know, being so moody and angry. They might not say it. You know, they're not going to say it. They're not going to say, you make me feel uncomfortable. You're a bit too moody. They're not going to say it. A lot of people won't say it. A lot of people won't say it. They won't say, you made me feel so uncomfortable. You're a bit moody today. Some people won't say it. There's a suffering silence, and they didn't like how they felt, and they try to just numb themselves because of your poor attitude, and they just turn the blind eye. They don't like it. So next time you feel like, oh, why is people leaving my ministry? Why is she or he ghosting me? Understand that you can't have this entitlement. You have to have empathy. You know, you have to take accountability. You can't gaslight people and talk over people and make it about yourself. You know. Hope this helped. If you need counselling or coaching or prayer requests or anything else, email me. Thank you for listening.